In 1970, Ford launched the Pinto at just $1,900, a bargain car for a new era of fuel shortages and economy drives. On the surface, it was cheap, compact, and practical. But beneath that shiny promise, the Pinto carried dark secrets that would make it one of the most infamous cars in American history. While the world remembers it for fires and lawsuits, there's a hidden side of performance and controversy that most people never hear about. Stay with us, because we're about to uncover the dark truths behind this so-called little car that changed everything. The Pinto recall that shook America. June 1978. After years of resistance, Ford finally bowed to pressure and announced one of the largest recalls in automotive history, over 1.5 million Pintos and Mercury Bobcats. This wasn't about reliability, it was about survival. Behind the wheel of a Pinto, a simple rear-end crash, something most drivers expected to walk away from, could end in fire. The tank sat just inches from the bumper, and when struck, it could rupture and ignite in seconds. By then, the stories were everywhere. Courtrooms echoed with lawsuits. Newspapers ran images of twisted wrecks. Ford insisted the Pinto was no worse than its rivals. But the evidence was piling up. For owners, the recall was bittersweet. They lined up at dealerships, torn between relief and rage. Yes, repairs were coming, but only after years of deadly accidents had forced Ford's hand. And what came next would prove the Pinto's reputation was already scarred beyond repair. Counting the tragedies. Statistics can feel cold until they're tied to real lives. By August 1977, federal investigators connected the Pinto to 38 rear-end crashes that erupted in fire. The result? 27 people dead, 24 others burned and scarred forever. These weren't just numbers on a page. They were families shattered on highways, children pulled from flames, parents grieving loved ones lost to a car sold as safe and practical. Survivors described how a normal commute turned into horror. A bump on the road, a rear-end hit, and suddenly the cabin became an inferno. Each new case piled pressure on Ford. Each tragedy added another layer to the Pinto's reputation. This wasn't a rare freak accident. It was a devastating pattern. For regulators, the numbers were evidence. For the public, they were heartbreak. And for Ford, they became the darkest reminder that every shortcut carries a human cost. The $200,000 death tag, a dollar value on death, true or twisted, it poisoned the Pinto's legacy forever. Few people know this, but in 1972, Ford looked at safety through a calculator, not a conscience. Regulators had put a price on life, about $200,725. Ford rounded it down to a clean $200,000. Then came the chilling math. Fixing the Pinto's rear fuel tank would cost about $11 per car. Multiplied across millions of cars, the bill was $137 million. But the benefits of skipping the fix? On paper, Ford estimated $200,000 per death, $67,000 per serious burn, and $700 per destroyed car, totaling only $49.5 million. What happened next will shock you. The memo read less like engineering and more like hospital triage. It assumed 180 burn deaths and another 180 serious injuries each year. For the price of a tank of gas, Ford could have made the Pinto harder to ignite. Here's the twist. These numbers started in government cost-benefit tables, but once Mother Jones exposed the memo, the public only saw one thing: a price tag on human life. As a car lover, I couldn't believe it. A car meant to save money became a case study in how numbers buried ethics, until the fires made them impossible to ignore. The courtroom reckoning. Grimshaw. The Pinto's darkest moment didn't happen on the road, it happened in a California courtroom. The case was called Grimshaw vs. Ford, and it involved a young boy who was terribly burned when his family's Pinto exploded after a rear-end crash. In court, the jury heard painful stories and saw pictures of the wreck. They also saw Ford's own papers showing the company knew about the danger, but chose not to fix it. The shock in that room was impossible to miss. When the verdict came, it stunned the nation. $125 million in damages. It was later reduced to $3.5 million. But the point was clear. Putting money before safety had consequences. From that day on, the Pinto wasn't just a cheap little car. It became a warning, taught in schools and remembered as the moment when Ford's shortcuts caught up with them. Pinto as Porsche hunter. The Pinto was known as cheap, small, and unsafe. But in the mid-70s, one California dealer asked a bold question: what if this little car could run with the big boys? The answer became the Pinto Pangra. On the outside, it looked nothing like the grocery getter people mocked. A sharp aerodynamic nose replaced the stock grille. Wide fender flares gave it muscle. A lower, sleeker profile made it look more like a European sports car than a bargain Ford. And then came the real magic. Under the hood, the standard Pinto's 2.3-liter four-cylinder barely made 90 horsepower. The Pangra's turbocharged version nearly doubled that, pushing close to 175 horsepower. At just over 2,200 pounds, the power-to-weight ratio changed everything. 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds, a top speed of 123 miles per hour. Numbers that suddenly put a Pinto in the same conversation as a Porsche 914 or Datsun 240Z. Few were ever built, making the Pangra incredibly rare. But it proved a shocking truth. Even a car remembered for fires could, with the right engineering, become a sports car hunter. The secret hot rod. Long before the Pinto was known as a courtroom scandal, one man saw it differently. His name was Ack Miller, a hot rod pioneer who looked at Ford's cheapest compact and thought, why not turn it into a rocket? In 1971, Hot Rod magazine tested his tuned Pinto and the results stunned everyone. 0 to 60 in just 7.1 seconds, a quarter mile in 15.4 seconds. Those were numbers you normally expected from V8-powered muscle cars, not a humble four-cylinder commuter. The secret? Smart engineering, a carefully tuned carburetor, an engine built for more than economy, and a chassis so light, just over 2,000 pounds, that every horsepower counted. Suddenly, the Pinto wasn't a punchline. It was a sleeper, a car that could make Camaro and Mustang drivers sweat. Few believed it until the time slips proved it. Ack Miller showed the world, under the right hands, even the Pinto could bite. Legend with a split personality. Few cars have lived such a double life as the Ford Pinto. In courtrooms, it was branded a fire hazard, a rolling symbol of corporate neglect. For many Americans, the Pinto meant tragedy. Headlines of fiery crashes, lawsuits that shocked the nation, and a recall that scarred its reputation forever. But at the very same time, a different story was being written. In garages, at racetracks, and in car magazines, the Pinto was being reborn. Its lightweight frame made it perfect for speed. With turbo kits, dealer specials like the Pangra, and Ack Miller's hot rod builds, this so-called death trap was suddenly pulling 7-second 0 to 60 runs and keeping up with Porsches. To some, it was a villain. To others, it was a secret weapon. And that's what makes the Pinto unforgettable. One car, two legacies, a legend with a split personality that history will never forget. And that's the story of the Ford Pinto. Both a fire-scarred scandal and a hidden performance surprise. Which part of its legend shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more untold automotive stories.